Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like you were staring at a stranger? A pair of sad eyes, a gaze filled with doubt, and a heart that's been through too much pain. You ask yourself, why am I not good enough? Why do I always fall short compared to others? Why do I feel so empty, so invisible in this life? If those thoughts have ever crossed your mind, know this: you're not alone. So many people, even the strongest and most successful ones you admire, have had moments like these. But what sets them apart from the rest is this: they chose to change how they see themselves. And from that moment, everything began to shift. Not on the outside, but within. Not the world, but themselves. The truth is, most of our pain doesn't come from our circumstances, but from how we interpret those circumstances in our minds. A hurtful comment from someone, a failure from the past, or a single rejection, they can become chains we place on ourselves if we don't learn to look at them differently. That's why in this video, I want to share 7 lessons to help you change how you view yourself. These lessons are drawn from Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that remains as practical and powerful as ever. These aren't empty platitudes. They're insights I've lived through, reflected on, and applied in my own life. And I believe that if you truly open your heart, these lessons can transform your life too. Lesson 1: you are not your past. Let's start with the first lesson, a simple but profoundly important truth. You are not your past. It sounds obvious, but ask yourself this: how many times have you judged yourself based solely on things that happened before? How many times have you told yourself, I'm a failure, I'm weak, I gave up once, I can't change? The past may have happened, but you don't live in it. You live in the present. And the sad truth is, so many people live as if they're still trapped in years gone by. Stoicism teaches us that we can't control what has happened, but we have complete control over how we respond to it. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "It's not the events that cause you suffering, but the way you view those events. Maybe you failed in a relationship, lost a job, were rejected by your family, or did something you regret. But that's not you. Those are experiences, lessons, part of the journey. No one lives without making mistakes, but some people dare to learn from those mistakes and grow. Others let them become a lifelong sentence that imprisons them." I remember a close friend of mine who got caught in a spiral of debt when he was young. Everyone around him, even his family, saw him as a failure. Worse, he believed it himself. For years, he lived with the label of useless and turned down every opportunity out of fear he'd mess things up again. But one day, he decided to forgive himself, not to forget, but to accept. He said, "I can't change what happened, but I can write the rest of my story." Today, he's one of the young trainers invited to speak at universities. Not because he's the best, but because he's real and because he dared to overcome himself. See, your past doesn't define you unless you let it. An event doesn't say who you are. How you rise from it does. If you want to change your life, you have to start by changing how you see yourself. Look at yourself with compassion, with understanding, and with the courage of someone ready to move forward. Try this. After reading this, write down 3 things from your past that make you feel ashamed or hurt. Then write 3 lessons you've learned from them. Finally, write a reminder to yourself: I'm not the person I was. I'm learning to become a better version of myself every day. This isn't some fleeting motivational exercise. It's a process, and every process begins with a single step: changing how you view yourself. You may have failed, been hurt, or lost your way, but you are not defined by those things. You are defined by how you choose to live today. So don't let your past, whether it was beautiful or bitter, hold you back for one more day. Lesson 2: negative emotions don't define you. There are mornings when you wake up and just don't want to do anything. A heavy feeling sits on your chest, like something invisible is weighing down your soul. You might call it sadness, exhaustion, hopelessness, or anxiety. But whatever name you give it, here's what you need to understand. Those negative emotions are not who you are. They're just waves of feeling, coming and going, not the true ocean within you. We often confuse feeling something with being something. When you say, "I'm sad," you're identifying yourself with sadness. But if you say, "I'm experiencing sadness," the difference is clear. One is labeling yourself, the other is observing. Stoicism doesn't ask you to become an emotionless machine. It teaches you to see emotions as clouds drifting across the sky of your mind. You can't stop the clouds from moving, but you can choose not to let them block the sun inside you. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Your mind is like a garden. Every emotion is a seed. If you unconsciously water negative seeds like anger, fear, or self-doubt, they'll grow into weeds that choke your entire garden. But if you consciously nurture positive seeds like gratitude, acceptance, or patience, your garden will thrive with life. I used to be consumed by anxiety for years. Whenever something went wrong, I immediately thought I wasn't good enough, that I'd fail, that life was against me. I turned to temporary escapes, staying up late scrolling online, overeating, or working myself to exhaustion just to avoid those feelings. But running only made them stronger. I couldn't change until I learned a simple Stoic lesson. Let emotions pass through you, but don't hold on to them as part of your identity. I carry this saying with me. Emotions are like the weather. Today might bring a storm, but tomorrow could be sunny. Imagine if you feel disappointed one day and simply say, "Oh, disappointment is visiting me today." You don't have to fight it or hide from it. You just let it come and go. That's inner freedom. That's the first step to healing. Negative emotions don't mean you're a negative person. They're just signals, not absolute truths. If you feel jealous, it doesn't make you a bad person. It might be a sign you're longing for something you haven't yet faced. If you feel angry, it could mean you feel disrespected. If you feel sad, maybe you're craving a deeper connection. When you see emotions as messages, you learn from them instead of being swallowed by them. I once sat with a friend going through depression. He looked at me, eyes red, and asked, "How do I stop feeling like a loser when I'm always this sad?" I didn't have an easy answer, but I asked him, "If it rains for a week straight, do you decide the world is over? Or do you know the sky will clear again?" He smiled for the first time in months because he realized sadness isn't a sentence. It's just part of the journey. Here's the truth. Negative emotions are part of being human, but they're not your whole self. You're allowed to feel tired without shame. You're allowed to pause without feeling like a failure. You can be sad and still be strong. Stoicism isn't about being so tough you're cold. It's about bravely accepting everything within you, even your weakest parts, with understanding and compassion. If you're dealing with negative emotions, don't rush to suppress or erase them. Write them down. Let them speak. Meditate with them. And when you're still enough, you'll discover something remarkable. You are always bigger than any emotion you've ever felt. That's the true depth of who you are, unbowed by life's storms. And right now, if this resonates with you, please hit the like button to support the channel. Share the emotion you're feeling in the comments. And if you think someone else needs to hear this, share the video with them. Don't forget to subscribe for more content, because we're only just beginning this journey of transformation. Lesson 3. You don't need everyone's approval. There's a fear most of us have felt at some point. The fear of rejection, the fear of being judged, the fear of not being liked, the fear of not being good enough in someone else's eyes. That fear drives us to try to please everyone, to mold ourselves into the version society expects, our family wants, or our friends think is right. But have you noticed that the more you try to make everyone happy, the more you lose yourself? Epictetus once said, "If you want to be liked by everyone, you're trading your freedom for chains." It's a painful but necessary truth. You can't control whether others accept you. Some people will love you unconditionally, while others will never understand you, no matter how hard you try. And that's okay, because you don't live to be validated. You live to be yourself. There was a time in my life when I was caught in a whirlwind of proving myself. I wanted my family to see me as successful. I wanted my friends to think I had it all together. I wanted my colleagues to value my opinions. Every time someone disagreed or criticized me, it felt like my world was crumbling. I doubted myself, adjusted my words and actions, and turned myself into a smiling mask, even though I was full of inner conflict. And you know what happened? I burned out. I became a stranger to myself. I didn't even know who the real me was anymore. Stoicism taught me a fundamental truth. What's outside your control isn't worth agonizing over. Other people's opinions are outside your control. If someone misunderstands you, judges you, or rejects you, that's their issue, not your definition. You can't live fully if every step you take depends on someone else's approval. You don't need to be loved by everyone. You just need to respect yourself. Seneca said, "The person who lives by reason isn't the one everyone likes, but the one who lives true to their principles." Think about it. If you're the kindest, most talented, most sincere person and someone still dislikes you, what's left to prove? Even great figures like Socrates, Jesus, or Marcus Aurelius were hated, misunderstood, or opposed. So why should you, a regular person trying to live well, expect universal acceptance? Here's the beautiful thing. When you stop trying to please everyone, you start attracting the people who truly value the real you. When you let go of the fear of rejection, you step into life with ease, authenticity, and freedom. The right people will stay, the ones who don't belong will leave, and that's how it should be. I once knew a young woman who was obsessed with texting her friends to ask what she should wear to get likes or what to post online to get hearts. Every criticism sent her into a spiral of depression. Every unfollow triggered panic. Then one day she ditched the trendy clothes, logged off social media for a while, and started writing about what truly mattered to her. Her posts didn't get thousands of likes, but for the first time, she felt like she was truly living, and she smiled. You weren't born to be the perfect version of yourself in someone else's eyes. You were born to experience this life in your own way. If someone can't accept you when you're being honest, their approval isn't worth your effort. True freedom comes when you no longer need a nod from others to feel worthy. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is say no, even if it disappoints someone. It's choosing to walk away from toxic relationships. It's opting out of conversations just to please others. It's not needing to stand out, but simply being true to yourself. That's when you truly start living. If this resonates with you, don't hesitate to leave a comment sharing your thoughts. Hit the like button to let me know you're here, and don't forget to subscribe to continue this journey toward your true self, a place where you don't need everyone's approval, but you always value yourself. Lesson 4. Your true value doesn't come from achievements. In a world that's always racing against time, where accomplishments are hung on the wall like medals of glory, it's easy to fall into the trap of judging yourself based on what you've achieved. From grades in school, to the number of followers on social media, to the money you earn, or the title you hold at work, these things create an invisible pressure that you're only valuable if you accomplish something big. But is that really true? Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations, once asked, "Is your soul so small that it can only be measured by external successes?" That question hit me hard. For years, I believed that if I didn't achieve something extraordinary, I was nobody. I chased good grades, great work, and more money, only to find that even at the peak of temporary success, I felt empty. Why? Because true value doesn't come from achievements. It comes from how you live each moment. Are you honest with yourself? Are you kind to others? Do you live by what you believe in? These are the things that make you a grounded, meaningful person. Achievements, while valuable, are just byproducts, not the foundation. We're conditioned from a young age to believe that achievements are our ticket to recognition. Parents often praise us only when we get high grades. Teachers notice us when we're top students. Society celebrates the successful and overlooks those quietly trying. Over time, we form a false belief. I'm only worthy if I accomplish something significant. And that belief hurts so many souls, people who feel they're never enough, even when they're living fully. Stoicism doesn't promote mediocrity. It teaches us to understand the difference between intrinsic value and external results. Epictetus said, "Titles don't make you a good person. It's how you treat others and hold on to your integrity in tough times that shapes your character." A street cleaner can live with more dignity and kindness than someone standing on a podium with a dishonest heart. Someone unremarkable can live with more love and integrity than thousands who are celebrated. I once met an elderly woman selling lottery tickets on the sidewalk. She always smiled, greeting everyone with warmth and sincerity. No one knew her name or mentioned her on social media. But I'll never forget her eyes that belonged to someone with no achievements to boast about, but carried a value beyond measure. She taught me that living kindly, honestly, and with resolve is a triumph no certificate can validate. You are not your report card. You are not your monthly income. You are not your medals or follower count. You are a living journey, the way you overcome failure, the courage you show in rising from pain, the times you speak the truth despite trembling, the tears you hide but still keep moving forward. No one has the right to measure you by their yardstick. Your true value comes from within, and that means it's always there, independent of external circumstances. Even if you fail today, you are still valuable. Even if no one acknowledges you, you are still worthy. Even if you haven't achieved something grand, you are still a person full of potential and meaning. Recognizing this is a turning point. It frees you from self-criticism, comparison, and the endless race. I know it's hard when you see others succeeding and feel left behind, weaker or less capable. But remember, life isn't a race to see who's fastest. Everyone has their own season to bloom. Sometimes your value isn't in the finish line, but in how you stay kind in a competitive world. If you're feeling like you're not good enough because you haven't achieved what others have, take a deep breath. Look back at everything you've overcome. Ask yourself, am I true to myself? Am I doing what's right? Am I learning and growing? If the answer is yes, you're already living a life of immense value. If these words are helping you let go of the invisible pressure of achievements, hit the like button to let me know you're listening. Share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. Your story might just be a light for someone else. And if you haven't already, subscribe to catch the next videos where we'll continue waking up, healing, and rediscovering our true selves. Lesson 5, your journey of change doesn't need to be perfect. Deep down, we all want to become a better version of ourselves. Maybe you've started a fitness plan, set out to learn a new language, committed to living more positively, or simply decided to sleep earlier, read more books, or spend more time with family. But then you slip up, you procrastinate, you give up halfway, and that familiar feeling creeps back in. Disappointment in yourself, self-blame, self-doubt, wondering why you can't seem to change. Here's the truth. You're not alone. The journey of change is never a straight, brightly lit path from start to finish. It's a winding road full of potholes with moments of radiant sunshine and others of raging storms. Most importantly, it doesn't need to be perfect, because real change isn't about never failing. It's about having the courage to get back up every time you fall. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you stumble, don't waste time dwelling on it. Get up, adjust, and keep going." It's a gentle but powerful reminder. Progress doesn't come from perfection, but from persistence. You might not be perfect today, but as long as you hold on to the desire to live better, you're still changing. I had a friend who set a ton of New Year's resolutions. Wake up at 5 a.m. every day, read 52 books in a year, learn meditation, study Korean, quit coffee, exercise 6 times a week. She started with so much enthusiasm, posting her progress on social media daily. But after just 2 weeks, she gave up, and she felt like a failure. She was ashamed of her lack of discipline, her lack of willpower. I told her, the problem isn't that you failed, it's that you're using the wrong yardstick. You're demanding instant perfection, which no one in the world can achieve. Stoicism teaches us to stay steady amid change. Seneca wrote, "We don't become wise overnight. Growth comes from small, consistent steps taken every day." That means you can mess up today, but if you learn something from it, that's still progress. You might skip a day of reading, but if you pick up the book tomorrow, you're still moving forward. It's those moments of coming back after a stumble that create real transformation. One of the biggest mistakes we make when trying to change is thinking we have to get it right from the start. One slip up and we decide we're not good enough, so we quit. But imagine this. When you were learning to walk and fell, what if your parents scolded you for not knowing how to walk? Would you have kept trying? Thankfully, as kids, we had encouragement and patience from those around us. But as adults, we're often brutally hard on ourselves. Give yourself the same patience you received when you were learning life's first lessons. Be gentle with your failures, because change is a process, not a destination. You don't need to be perfect to deserve happiness. You just need to be someone who doesn't give up, even when things aren't perfect. I know you've told yourself, I'll start again tomorrow, and this time I'll get it right. Maybe you've said that dozens of times, but that's not failure. It's a sign of a soul that hasn't given up. It's the seed of perseverance. Every time you decide to try again, you're nurturing courage. And courage is worth celebrating more than any flashy success. If you're on a journey of change and feeling discouraged, I want you to know you're doing better than you think. You might not see results right away, but you're planting seeds every day. And one day you'll look back and see how far you've come. If you've ever felt guilty for giving up or blamed yourself for not sticking to a commitment, try this. Write yourself a forgiveness letter. Forgive your exhaustion, your procrastination, the days you just wanted to quit. And after forgiving yourself, start again, even with just one small action. That action will be the first step of a new journey, one that's not perfect but is real. If this lesson resonates with you, hit the like button to spread this positive energy to others. Don't hesitate to share your own journey of change in the comments. Wherever you are in the process, we want to hear it. And if you feel these insights are vital for your life's journey, subscribe to keep joining us for the next steps of transformation. Lesson 6. No one can save you but yourself. Have you ever felt like you're sinking into the depths of exhaustion, confusion, or pain, desperately hoping someone will step into your life and pull you out of the mud? Maybe you've waited for a partner who truly understands you, a friend who listens, a therapist who can heal all your wounds, or some miraculous opportunity to turn your life around. But as time passes, no one comes, or they come and go, and you're still standing there with your pain untouched. Slowly you realize no one will truly save you if you don't start saving yourself. Stoicism doesn't offer the sweet promise of someone rescuing you. Instead, it's a powerful wake-up call. You are the only one responsible for your mind and your life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Others may hinder your actions, but no one can hinder your will. And your will is what truly matters. Your will, not someone else's pity, not the kindness of fate, is what will lift you up." I know when you're in a crisis, hearing "be strong" sounds hollow. But Stoicism doesn't ask you to grit your teeth and fake strength. It asks you to look within and realize that even when life is cruel, you still have the power to choose your attitude. No one, not even those who love you most, can live for you, choose for you, or feel for you. You have to walk through your own darkness, and that's both terrifying and beautiful. Epictetus, a former slave who was beaten and later became a revered philosopher, said, "Don't expect the world to change for you. Learn to change yourself within it." This isn't weak compromise, it's a courageous call to action. You don't need to wait for something external to start living better. You can change your life from within, right now, with what you have. I once knew a friend who struggled with depression for years. He tried therapy, medication, and leaning on friends. Some days he felt better, others worse. But it wasn't until he sat down, wrote out what he was feeling, faced his pain without running, and started small, daily habits, like eating on time, practicing slow breathing, or walking for 15 minutes, that he began to see real light. Not because someone healed him, but because he chose not to give up. That choice was the first thing that saved him. Others can offer advice, support, or a listening ear, but if you don't truly want to get up, no one can walk for you. Salvation doesn't come from outside. It comes from an inner moment. When you face yourself, take responsibility for your emotions, choices, and outcomes, good or bad. That's when you stop blaming your parents, your past, society, your partner, or the universe. That's when you start living with true freedom. Freedom from within. Saving yourself doesn't mean doing everything alone or needing no one. You can still seek help, see a therapist, or confide in friends. The difference is this: you no longer expect others to fix your life for you. You act, you stay aware, and you know that external support is just a tool. Your inner will is the true rudder of your life's ship. If you're feeling weak or fragile, that's okay. Start with the smallest thing you can do today to help yourself. Maybe tidy one corner of your room, turn off your phone for an hour to sit in silence, write down the fear gripping you, or simply tell yourself, "I won't give up." That's the first step. And with each step, you'll rebuild yourself. Not perfectly, not quickly, but authentically. I want you to know, you are strong enough to get through this, whether you believe it or not. That strength has been in you since the day you were born. It may be dusty from years of pain, but it's still there, waiting for you to claim it. When you start acting for yourself, no one, not even the harshest circumstances, can stop you from growing. If these words resonate with you, hit the like button to let me know you're still with me on this journey. Share your story of picking yourself up in the comments. You never know, your experience could be a spark for someone else who's lost. And if you want to keep being inspired by messages like these, subscribe. We'll keep walking together toward becoming the strongest version of ourselves. Lesson 7. Acceptance is the beginning of freedom. Most of us grow up believing we need to change everything to be happier. Our circumstances, other people, our appearance, our emotions, even our past if we could. But there's a paradox we only discover after stumbling through life. Sometimes the key to peace isn't change, it's acceptance. Not the kind of acceptance that means giving up or surrendering, but a strong, awake acceptance. A moment when you stop fighting reality and start living in harmony with it. One of Stoicism's core principles is distinguishing between what's in your control and what isn't. Epictetus said, "Some things are up to us and some things are not." This distinction seems simple, but it's the root of inner freedom. When you start accepting what you can't change, like the past, other people's actions, the weather, or death, you free yourself from endless anger, pain, and frustration. You stop wasting energy on pointless battles with life. I once met a woman who lost her child in an accident. That pain was something no one could erase. She used to scream, curse fate, and want to give up entirely. But years later, she sat down with me and said, "I stopped demanding to know why it happened. I learned to live with the pain without letting it consume me. I still miss my child every day, but I no longer fight those memories." That's acceptance, not erasing but embracing, not forgetting but walking alongside. Acceptance isn't weakness, it's courage. When you accept yourself as you are, with all your flaws, mistakes, and past experiences, you begin to find true freedom. You stop living to meet an idealized image or hiding parts of yourself to be loved. You become whole in the present, and from that wholeness, you can grow, not to gain others' approval, but because you value yourself. Seneca wrote, "We can't choose what happens to us, but we can choose how to respond." A response rooted in acceptance isn't driven by fear. You're no longer as hurt by criticism, defeated by failure, or angry at life's unfairness. You understand that imperfection is the nature of the world, and you don't need it to be perfect to find peace. Acceptance also opens the door to gratitude. When you stop resisting the present, you start noticing the beauty that's always been there. A quiet morning, sunlight slipping through the window, the laughter of someone nearby. These ordinary things become precious. You stop living in a world of if only and start living in the right now, and right now is the only place you can truly live. If you've ever felt like you're not good enough, take a moment to sit with yourself, reflect on your journey, the efforts, the pain, the brave choices. Accept that some scars will never fade, but they don't make you less. They're proof you've lived, loved, hurt, and kept moving forward. You don't need to be perfect to deserve love. You just need to be fully present with yourself right now as you are. And if you're in a dark place, unable to accept the pain you're carrying, that's okay. Start by accepting that you're not ready to accept. As long as you stop judging yourself for it, you've already begun to let go of an invisible burden. Healing doesn't come from forcing yourself to be happy. It comes from allowing yourself to be real, even if that means being weak, angry, or tired. If this lesson resonates with you, show it with a like. And if you're willing, share in the comments. What in your life are you learning to accept? Your honesty might inspire thousands of others searching for their own peace. Don't forget to subscribe to continue this journey of deep inner growth with us in future videos. Dear friend, if you've made it this far with me, it shows you're someone who truly yearns for change, for a meaningful, profound life that isn't swept away by the chaos out there. We've walked through 7 lessons together, from redefining yourself, letting go of expectations, embracing pain, to realizing you're the only one who can save yourself. Above all, you've seen that true freedom doesn't come from controlling the world. It comes from controlling yourself. I don't know where you are in your life, but I believe that as long as you keep the spark of awareness, the humility to learn, and the courage to face yourself, you'll keep moving forward no matter how slow or bumpy the road. Take action, even the smallest step, right after this video. Write down a thought that's been weighing on you, have a conversation with a hidden emotion, or simply take a deep breath and say, "I'm ready to live true to myself." If this journey feels worthwhile, like the video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe. Because the path to awakening isn't one we need to walk alone.